We're back. We're back talking about Avatar, a movie that when you have the ability or time to purchase a home, when you sign buying a new home before you make your first mortgage payment, they're going to give you 2 to 4 tickets for the next Avatar because it's 30 years between we get avatars. And I think we have another 10 avatars coming. I don't know. Welcome to another episode from the Critics Collective. We're talking Avatar 2, The Way of the Water. This came out in 2022 with a runtime of 3 hours and 12 minutes. I just saw this for the first time after revisiting Avatar, the extended version. I said, hey, we get one like. I know the bar set low, but we're a new channel. We got one like. Then I would go ahead and come out and talk about this one. Now, the first movie, you got to go check and see what I said about that one. But I still, overall felt like the movie technologically wise kept that look and that buzz that made it, hey, go to the theater. James Cameron's back with a few new writers on the sequel, and just a harp back on what the first one did. The first one had a budget of $270 million, give or take. It did almost $800 million in the US. So it made its money back. Then it did almost $3 billion worldwide. That's crazy. That is at that point, you do whatever the fuck you want. That's if I was an executive, you're printing money. So if you want to do one every 30 years and then at some point let AI, I'm not gonna. Anyway, so I'm gonna tell you my lows, I'm gonna tell you my highs of this movie. Now, this takes place when Scully, I'm assuming you've seen the first one. If you haven't seen the first one, go see the first one, then go see the review I did for the first one, then come back here. But if you did see it, Scully is back. They throw some twists that are nods to the first one, and Scully and his family are now on the run. And you're watching the choices that they've made. You're watching these two rebels, which is Sam Worthington and Zoe. I'm not going to try to say her last name. Zoe from The Lioness, and she's been in the Avengers. You're watching them as their parents now, as they're a different, like, how kind of you were wild back in the day. You were taking some drinks, you bar fights. I don't know what you did. Maybe you stayed up later. I don't know. But now you have kids, right? So you're a little older now. You're a little wiser. You go to bed early. You look both ways before you cross the street. You double check to make sure you have family insurance, stuff like that. That's what they're going through in Avatar, Pandora stuff. The lows for this movie is I don't know how, but they decide to make it longer. This doesn't feel as long as the first one, which is almost 3 hours. This shit is an additional 15 minutes past the 3 hour mark. The other thing I would say that was low in it is there's plot holes where they forget the universe they put you in. For instance, there's something has to do with breathing. Not going to spoil anything. Something has to do with breathing. They stress that only to forget what they created at some point in the movie. There are things where characters are making certain choices, and I don't know how these characters made these choices other than to drive the plot. And it's unfortunate because it could have had some really impactful moments. Now, there were two characters, not going to spoil anything, but there was two characters that had really impactful moments. There was a really emotional moment that happens at the third act of this movie, and it really got me. I thought the music was good, but the music was all right in the first one, but I felt like the scores had a better seat in the house, if that makes any sense. And visually, oh my gosh, what they did visually, I didn't think they can up it. But if you've ever been to the Magic Kingdom and been to that Pandora area, especially at night, you can kind of almost feel like you're in it. And then you do that ride, and I'm not sponsored by the mouse, but that ride is just the closest you can get to experience this. And they take you in here, and you can see the magic that they can constantly. There's even an Easter egg for the Titanic in this. Not gonna spoil anything, but tell me in the comments if you find or saw the Easter egg from this one. With that being said, they're recycling some of the same sounds from the original Jurassic Park, and that's cool for them to look at machines and look at animals and find a way to mesh those together to do something new and say, oh, that looks like this because it's influenced by this. And it's cool because in real life, that's how we get a lot of the stuff we have: Velcro, waterproof things. We get it from mimicking nature. But this is another movie where humans suck. Just telling you right now, not spoiling anything. It's the story of everything. Humans fuck things up. And I'm gonna fuck things up by rating this. Let's rate this. We're gonna rate this from a 5 being excellent to 0 being horrible. In between, we got some other stuff. Put in the comments what you think. Avatar: The Way of the Water. 3 hours, and this came out in 2022. Another bang up cast. They spent $350 million. They did $135 million at the mother effing beginning weekend. Then they went ahead and did $700 million in the U.S. to almost do again another $3 billion, printing money. This movie has made so far over $6 billion worldwide. That is crazy. My goodness. Anywho, I'm gonna rate this the first one. I'm not gonna say what I rated. You gotta go watch that. This one I'm gonna rate. I don't want to do it. A 3. I'm sorry. A 3. It's a strong 3. There's just you can't print money like that and come out with like, hey, this one of the greatest movies. Some will say as far as money wise, and then you have those plot holes in it. Like, you should tighten this up. There was some really good action in it, really good emotion in it. This is a strong 3. This is not bad. This is okay. Hold up. We've only done this, at least with me, we've only done this a handful of times. We're gonna go to the review. Let's go to the review. Ref comes back out. Ref's taking a look under the tarp, and he's checking the footage. I think we got enough. We got a conclusive. We're gonna bump it up to a 4. We're gonna, because it's a good movie. Like, it's a strong 3, and it's not an average movie by far. When you look at the CG that they put in here, the emotions in the face. There's scenes where there's fire. You can see it flickering off their skin. The glow in the water. The particles not the same as Finding Nemo or Finding Dory, but you can see they stepped up their level in what this movie was. It just had, unfortunately, some plot holes and some pacing issues that a movie like this that takes this time should not have.